What are some jobs that pay high because most people don't want to do them? Septic tank service, tower climber and oil rig worker. Anything with risk of death. The classic example is underwater ocean welding, which is probably the most dangerous job known to man. But there are others. Some people just won't work on construction for a high-rise building. For example, no matter the pay. Trauma and crime scene cleaning. A friend of mine had a job that just involved installing antivirus on corporate Linux systems. He earned about £100,000 a year. That was literally all he did. If there were no more systems that required antivirus, then he had nothing to do. Bricklaying and laboring. Concrete screeder. Lots of different types of nursing. Shearing. All types of roofing in hot and freezing climates. Quite a few shoveling jobs. Quite a few jobs at the meatworks. ECT. At least in Australia. Those diagnostic jobs on the high-rise steel column that involves changing lights, etc. That is corroded. You do it once per half year or quarterly, but it is dangerous. Dude in my guard unit is like 22 or 23 making easy six figures repairing power lines. Dangerous and hard work. But they sure as hell pay you for it. Seems like most answers here are just people talking out of their ass who don't do said job. So take it with a grain of salt op. Interesting how reading through these comments and mostly trade jobs show up electrical, plumbing, HVAC. But then the other half of Reddit is all college is a scam. Look into trades. Plumbing. Nobody wants to crawl under a wet dripping sink contorting his body trying to undo corroded screws and bolts. Commercial HVAC are hot, hard, underappreciated line of work. Mortuary transportation. You have to collect human remains when the person passes away, put them in a body bag and transport them to the funeral home or wherever they need to go. Very good pay, but it's difficult and dirty work. Not to mention the mental toll it takes. Anything for the U.S. government in Alaska. My husband contracted in an elevator shop and made good money. 100 degrees in the summer. No AC. And very heavy manual labor. Garbage man. I have a childhood friend whose dad was making $80K being a garbage man, in the mid-90s. Morticians. The people working the garbage trucks are paid quite well for what is essentially unskilled manual labor, at least around here. In the coming years, as many experienced people leave their trades, it's going to be the trades across the board. Carpenters, plumbing, electrical, concrete workers, truckers, farmers. Water system technician. Best paying, hardest job I ever had. Worked for my municipality doing water quality checks and system inspections along with the same for swimming pools, public and private. It's great work. Fun work, but also super politicized and demoralizing. Edit. No one wants to work it because it's solitary and oscillates between extremely mundane to dangerous chaos. Retention was so low. I was considering an aged veteran after a mere 5 years. Window cleaning skyscrapers lol. Lineman. Garbage man. Oil rig worker. Underwater welder. Applied math. I repair commercial kitchen equipment and HVAC. I have a few contracts with hospitals that pay more when working on their walk-in units that store corpses. Surveying. It's not that people don't want to do it per se, but that most people forget that it's even a thing. But they make fucking bank because there just aren't very many of them. Oilfield jobs in North Dakota. Accounting. Most people can do the work. It's all about embracing the pain. Also, anything with an immediate risk of death. Electricians do well, for example. Commercial insulation installers. nursing, deep sea welding, anything with night shifts. Get into ATC. Extremely understaffed right now. They pay you during the school and training. Food service delivery driver. One of the most physically taxing trucking jobs as far as company driving goes. Sanitation workers make fucking bank. And they deserve every penny of it. You'd have to pay me $500,000 a year to get me to do a job like that. But there are few jobs more necessary to keep society functioning than sanitation workers. Most jobs that use higher mathematics are higher paid. Underwater welders need lots of skills and strength. Hazmat cleanup. Trash guys. In my area they make real good money. Saturation diving. Anything in Alaska. Sewer related. Garbage truck driver. Altitude related jobs like those people that change light bulbs where if you fall you could die. Really any job where you could die. Deep sea diver engineers. Electric utility linemen. Do it. Doing something in waste treatment or waste management. A family friend went into this. I think it only requires a technical college degree, which is 2 years. He was one of like 10 people in his class and found a job right away making twice what I do. If I had known that, I would have gone into that instead of my useless 4 years college degree. Crime scene cleanup. Crime scene cleanup. Sales. Underwater welding. Anything at an oil refinery or an offshore oil rig. Ocean welding. Software engineer. Always learning is hard. Working in the oil fields. My brother is a contractor for Sydney Water and they deal with sewage. He's got a good position where he's not touching tools or going into sewers. The money for even a laborer is very good, but obviously it's not for everyone. Me. I couldn't do it because I've got a weak stomach and smells make me dry retch at the drop of a hat. So I would be puking up all over the shop and would not enjoy it. Sometimes money isn't everything. Commercial diving. Clearing city sewer outflow grates. Commercial diving. Deep drilled shafts. Commercial fishing. Oil drilling. I don't know about not wanting to do it, but air traffic control people make some bank and about once a year they do this mass hiring stuff. For youngins. You also get a lot of breaks and time off from what I hear. Due to the high stress levels required. Our garbage men make $40K to start. Good union. They smell bad but have enough to buy a lot of deodorant. Travel nursing. Sewage treatment pays me well. High pressure sales of shady timeshares to vacationers. Diesel mechanic, confined space welding, truck driver. Bricklayers. High-rise window washers. Manufacturing. People think it's hard work, but it's honestly hit or miss. I do about 4 hours of work in my 12 hours shift. Gross is $100,000. It's literally have your cake and eat it to scenario. Also look at companies that have high revenue. They need money to pay employees. So if you're working with a small company, don't expect high salary. Mine's a $13 billion company. $10 billion revenue in 2022. Plumbing. I make close to $70 an hour and we can't enough people to fill jobs or join the apprentice program. I forget what they're called. But there are divers that work on oil rigs that will live in tiny ass diving bells for weeks or even months at a time. A cramped living space hundreds or thousands of feet below the ocean's surface with your only light source outside being your headlamp. They could be like 20 feet from Cthulhu and not even know it.